This is an unofficial fan-made audiobook. All original stories are owned by Wizards of the Coast. If you are enjoying these stories, please consider subscribing to my Patreon over at patreon.com/voxoraculum for some special patron-exclusive content. Thanks. On with the story. Edge of Eternities, Episode 4. Revision 10. Scratches and Hair. After he finishes screaming, Alfariel learns a few names. The old woman who knows what she's about to do is Seema. Nagashua's best friend, a Meccan, has forgotten her, and she no longer wants to live. The man in front of him is Zagaquire, who is thrilled to be going to paradise. The hardest one of them is Purail, a murderer, who believes that the next eternity has been populated with the cast-offs of monoism, undesirables and heretics who've been encouraged to take the plummet, so everyone can be quit of them. This, in Purail's opinion, is turning the next eternity into a kind of penal colony, so she is going ahead to paradise to enforce discipline and make sure it is ready for the rest of the true faith to arrive. "My sister's not a heretic," Alfariel protests. "You'd never meet a more faithful woman." Purail, suspiciously, "They chose her for the plummet, didn't they? Maybe the monastery wanted to be rid of her." "They chose her because she's wonderful." "And you're chasing after her, I suppose? Because you're just as wonderful." Monoism does not encourage false modesty, but still, Alfariel can only manage to say, "Well, I'm fine." "The way you were screaming a minute ago," old Seema says, "I think you're not ready to die." "I won't die. I'll take the car. We all will." "The way you were screaming a minute ago," old Seema says, "sounded like a man going to die." Zagaquire turns around to look back at Alfariel, his face socketed in the centre of a sagging, massive plate of alluvial metal, splits into a smile. "Don't be afraid, Alfariel. It'll be paradise. You'll see your sister again." The ineviter groans and shimmies. Old Seema closes her helmet. "This is the grace of gravity," someone says. And then they are all saying the prayer together. "Gravity is the gift of purpose, a free path. Effortlessly we speed to our fate, and when we are close enough to fate, time and space change places. Going down becomes the same as passing time. The absence of effort, the geodesic of destiny. Obey your nature. Acceptance, not resignation. Inevitability, not inaction. Do what comes to you. The fact that it came to you makes it right. Down is the same as tomorrow. Nothing tests our faith." "Nothing tests our faith!" he roars with all of them. "Nothing tests our faith!" Then they hit. There is a hideous sound and a spine-cracking jolt. As it strikes the Dawnsire, the Ineviter deploys a cyst of altered space, a tactical event horizon, a Charizard. For the next 10 minutes, the impact that will smear the Ineviter and everyone inside into a blast of metal and flesh is suspended, trapped on the horizon. Well, most of the collision is trapped. The Ineviter's nose explodes outwards. Everyone inside hurtles forward, howling and crying his names. Outside, it is fury. Every Cnidamine in the department hits Zagaquire. His alluvial armour puckers and glows where the anti-armour mines land their stings. Each sting carries a warhead, and the warheads should explode, but the incident armour successfully deletes that event. So, instead of exploding him, the mine stingers ricochet inside his armour, and inside him. They are in a vast, brutalist girder set, the carbon chain bracing between the Dawnsire's inner and outer hulls. Wounded Incaglass spills crazed rainbow light all over them. Ship blood. Everyone casts their centre of mass forward, leaps like locusts for the inner hull. There's motion there, shining forms taking cover between the girders and frames. The enemy. The purpose of cover is not to avoid being shot. You'll be detected and shot anyway, but to force enemy weapons to cut through the cover to get to you. Sunstar soldiers like cover because they like beam weapons. Monoists like to swarm over them in cover and tear them apart. But Zagaquire doesn't move.
Alfario,
He sends. His voice is wet and sloshing.
I'm spinning.
Yes, hang on. Alfariel tries to grapple with him. They end up spinning together. Hang on, I'll stop you.
No, spin me faster. It's keeping the blood away from my holes.
No one's shooting at them. The rest of the boarding party falls upon Free Company foot soldiers, photophoroi, armed with combat lasers and gladiators. From this distance, the battle sounds like crashing static. The enemy weapons look like scratches and hair. Pulse trains of directed energy make bright scratches when they pass through clouds of vaporized metal, and jets of excited matter shed little corkscrew curlicues as they bend along field lines. It's pretty, Alfariel says to distract Zagaquire. Oh, there's a lot of blood coming out of the armour. Maybe the armour is the only thing holding Zag together.
Alf,
Zag gurgles.
yeah? I want to take Sakaar now.
Okay. You're sure?
My heart hasn't beat in a while, Alf. The armour's moving my blood. My veins itch. It's no good.
A scab of black allobial peels off his abdomen, and the cancelled events stored inside come sputtering out. One of the stinger mines lodged in Zag's body detonates. His armour contains the blast, but he still makes a terrible burp.
I can't give the command. I can't open my singularity bead. Help me.
I can help. Where? Alfariel fumbles at Zagaquire's armour. Where is the damn thing? There, same place. On his brow. Here, I have it. Are you ready?
Yes.
Should I say something?
Say, see you in the next eternity, Zag.
See you in the next eternity, Zag.
Thank you, Alfariel. I'll say hello to your sister if I get there first. What's her name?
Raphaela.
That's like your name.
I know, Zag. I know. Alfariel crushes the singularity bead's housing and kicks free. Zagaquire collapses into a violet pinprick, eaten by the uncaged void. It drifts there for a moment, but the ship is accelerating, moving up, and falls away beneath Alfariel. It'll go straight through the hull, headed for Cythera and the next eternity. If Alfariel could see into that violet spark, he might glimpse the form of the faller, him who plummets. But there is no time. Alfariel grabs his own centre of mass and throws it toward the battle. Purail, the murderer, reaves a foot soldier's armour open with surface shears as long as her spine. A summist, whose armour docks hundreds of dragonfly missiles, fires them all at once, and they all swing into the same growler beam and swat themselves into the deck. Old Seema grapples through the diffraction patterns of violet lasers, jets of vapour exploding from her armour, and slaps a Knidamine on the crest of an enemy's helmet. A Sunstar foot soldier battles beside two strokes of Nagashua's axe and blinds her with a flash of gladiator light. She grabs for his centre of mass, pulling him into her. He thrusts the gladiator through her heart. No one retreats. No one regroups and runs. It's to the death for every last one of them. The Shahrazad's event horizon has cut this part of the Dawnsire off from the greater part of the ship. Reinforcements seconds away, will not arrive for minutes. The Inca on the walls, a network the summists tap for power, is quick to tap out and slow to refill. There is no entanglement relay to borrow fate, no medics to call, no pulse trains of light shot through the hull by faraway knights. The soldiers of the true faith have the advantage. Then it is over. Alfariel barely got to swing his axe. The next obstacle is the alloy of the inner hull. Weak light bomb? Alfariel tries to suggest, but several of the faithful have already pounced with the excitement of huge dark squirrels on the nearest hatch. They're a puzzle club, Seema says. What? They volunteered to come because they want to break Summist locks. I wonder if there'll be any Summist locks in paradise, Parael says. Just replicas, I suppose, Seema says. Is that any fun? It has to be fun, Alfariel says. It's paradise. One of the puzzlers bellows, Praise him! And takes Sakaar. The violet blip of the puzzler's collapse, smaller than an atom, plunges into the hull brighter than day. It must pierce something vital, because the others scoop at the metal with their armor's tidal grips, feeling for new weakness. The hatch pops out, spinning away on a jet of atmosphere, and plunges into the girded fog. Inside is a huge space, golden chandeliers of anemones of glass fibre gone dim, rows of pews wrapped around dry pools. It's a basilica, a house of the Sunstar faith. Someone, howling, starts burning it. Mission continues, Parael calls. Puzzle Club down ship. Find the blasphemy mechanisms. Find out how they work and how long until the javelin can fire. Damage what you can. Others, push up ship toward the bridge. Good luck, Seema says. I'm going to kill a solar knight. Try to die usefully. I'm coming with you, Alfariel says, and gets shot. Revision 10. Matador. They plunge down the Dawnsire's spine. They could free fall at 1 gravity, but Vondam sets the place with thrusters. 2, 3, 4, crushing them with haste. The Sherazad's boundary glows, the light coming out of the fast time inside, creating a violet haze like Hawking radiation. Halia's armor warns her of xenotic particle decay, which isn't much of a warning because it has no idea what the consequences might be. Steady, Vondam says. Steady? She's going to die. Vondam is prophesied to die, and she is his squire. If he is going to die, she must die first. She must put her body between him and fate. Below the horizon, nothing seems any different, except for a flood of time-sync errors on Coronet. Vondam brakes to a halt at the transverse causeway, one of the floors on the long skyscraper that is the Dawnsire's hull. Minutes have passed in here. Minutes more before reinforcements reach us. By then, we'll be triumphant or dead. There is a thrill in his voice, the red joy of a man-at-arms. Don't count on tapping the Inca glass for power. We have what's inside our armor. Another knight comes through behind them. Walker, trailing Quinidad. Quinidad nods to Halia, but Halia doesn't know how to nod back. She seems to have forgotten how to do anything but think, we are going to die. Quinidad makes a crisp report. Fonon survey reports fighting. A company of the garrison has engaged boarders just abeam of the basilica. I see it, Vondam murmurs. They've butchered the Owly foot soldiers. We are in beam range. Walker draws his blade. Vondam. Just see. Both on that one? No. 2 split. Against armor. De Miracho, not paladins. 2 split down the veins. Ready? In 5. Walker aims his gladiator. Quinn, sink me. Halia, you'll clean my train. Sir. The 2 knights plunge their gladiators into the deck and fire. The ship shrieks in pain. The beams saw through soft alloy between the Dawnsire's cross-braced iron core skeleton. Halia is there to play matador for Vondam, cleaning the burned metal and shocked air from his beamline with nanosecond flashes of her own weapon. His deftness. If he's so much as nicked a power bar or data mirror, she will eat her own cape. When the light went out, back home, some of the children tried to play curling on the reservoir ice. She is like the broom, his beam the stones.
"Tally-ho!"
Walker calls.
"He's not happy."
Wondham's mildness is venomous. He hates their foe. The deck underneath them groans. Halia gets suddenly heavier, then lighter. Quinidad, startled, falls to her knees.
"Growler, they are going to bring down the deck!"
Vondam shouts.
"Keep fire. Get this one before he takes a car. I'm jitter hot. I'll tap out. Then tap out."
The deck whines under their boots. The metal is shuddered at ultrasonic frequencies, stroked by some evil purr. Gravity waves pulsing up at them from the monoists below. The deck is vibrating so hard that if they were unarmored, the sound alone would kill them. A beautiful white twinkle, like stars in the disc-winter sky, shines up from the deck. It's sonoluminescence. The gravity waves trap pockets of gas in the metal, creating bubbles that pop up and then collapse in just a few picoseconds. Tiny, violent stars.
"Vondam,"
Walker shouts.
"It's going to go!"
"Aye," Sir Vondam says. Oh, stars. Is this how he dies? Trying to bring one of the enemy down with him? She looks for his eyes. But she cannot see his face, of course, as he is enhelmed. "Sir," she says, "I promise, before they get you, they're going to have to go through—" The deck goes out from under her. Before she falls, Halia does the only thing she can and must do. She throws her arms out to her knight and broadcasts every bit of power she can to help keep him alive. The air between them boils with her gift. She rides an avalanche of tumbling plates down, bouncing off girders of core iron into water and powdered metal. Water? A bathhouse? She's in the tank for the bathhouse. Debris slams down on her, but contrary to what you see in movies, where people are always being impaled on random pipes, you cannot break right-ruled Free Company armor with random debris. She won't be impaled. Instead, she's going to die of diffuse hematoma from the beatings. The falling metal beats her down into the bottom of the water tank. She grunts and groans and tries to think. Praise the dawnlight, mover of being. Halia plunges her gladiator into the water and ignites. The steam jet cuts through the soft wall of the water tank, and the boiling water blasts her out like a cork into the bathhouse floor. She skids in a plough of condensation into the wall of an empty sauna. She allows herself exactly one groan. Rolls over. Where's Vondam? She has to get back to him before... Enemy. Enemy! Gliding toward her head first is a sideways thing. A shape so dark and drooling, layered in tongues of alluvial rot that can only be a monoist. Not one of their Gravkill paladins. She'd be dead already, stretched into a ribbon of Halia or compressed into a little human meatball. But a fighter, still. A militant zealot. Halia snaps her gladiator up and fires. The paste of powdered metal coating the gladiator explodes and knocks Halia on her arse. The monoist falls smoothly across the tile toward her, still head first, like it is plunging from the top of the shaft of Halia's life, about to strike bottom. Revision 10. Alfariel dies usefully. Two beams through the ceiling skewer Alfariel. They're cutting apart their own ship to get to him, and it would work. They'd kill him right there. Except someone throws a jar of aeromuck that explodes into a doughy mass around him. Still, the hot spots on his armour pulse and throb like a stove kiss. He squalls and tries to curve fall away, but the beams track him. What now? What does he do? He can feel the photon strikes queuing up in his armour's matrix like snake bites. Stop. Stop! Not yet! He can't die yet! Old Seema pulls on space like a cat clawing its way up a sheet. Her armour bristles and stretches with microtide. Far above her, something rumbles and comes down like an avalanche.
Falling hell, Seema!
Someone swears. Won't keep them for long, Seema says without emotion. One of them tapped out, but he'll be back. We've got 7 minutes to kill. Kill. Yes. Is that what Alvariel wants? You chose to be here. You volunteered. You wanted this. Can you find the enemy and kill them? All I wanted was to die. Then die usefully. If old Seema wants to kill Solar Knights, then he will be her bait.
Is this all the Free Company can muster?
He bellows in the most guttural, doxological massive he can manage.
An empty church and a couple flashlights. I thought this was your powerful weapon. I don't believe in you, and still you're betraying my faith.
He expects the beams to find him instantly. Instead, he hears the ongoing roar of the collapsing structure.
Behold, I am come, thy ruin and reckoning. I am Alfariel of Secundi, and against me your armour is cracked leather.
He should find a heat sink. A finger of steam leads him out of the basilica, down a dark narthex, into a bathhouse for post-worship clean-up. His armour warns him. 6 minutes to Sherazade collapse. 6 minutes until he must take Sakaar. His armour pulls his attention to a cloak smeared across the bathhouse's glazed and fractured floor. He pities the dead summist. The dead summist shoots him. There's a blue flash and a clap of steam. Nothing else happens. He's still alive.
Fall, you!
Alfariel jabbers and falls on the woman, tearing at the space between them with his armour's tidal claws. Shards of quartz floor tile tear free and hurtle into the summist's back, but Alfariel has forgotten to pull at an angle to himself. All the tidally accelerated debris misses the summist and slams into his own armour. He has shot himself in the face. He scrabbles forward, just like Nagashua. And just like Nagashua, he falls right onto the summist's weapon. Revision 10. Brainwash. The first time someone punched Halia in the face, she was fighting over a box of fish flakes deep in the disc winter of her childhood. There, she learned that she wasn't ready to be punched in the face. She lost that fight, and the fish flakes. Turns out that being tide-locked by a suit of monoist combat armour is a lot like that. She doesn't panic. She's just bewildered. She trained for this. Exactly for this. Why doesn't she know what to do? It's like the knowledge is in a part of her brain she's misplaced. Halia, you fraud, do something! The enemy hurtles toward her, like a knot of feral dog tongues, black and panting. Halia tries with shaking hands to clear her weapon, get it back up and beam the fanatic in the face, but the monoist strews the space between them with debris and wet, swirling dust. She can't get a good beam form before they fall together, and the enormous, condensed mass of the monoist fanatic smashes her down. Down, but not out. She switches her Gladiator to short axe mode and keeps it between them. The Gladiator soars into the enemy armour, edged with blue oxygen plasma. She hisses a prayer and pushes as hard as she can. The Alabil armour gives up strands of averted events. Huge blowtorch jets erupt from the monoist's shoulders and back, the heat of Sir Vondam's and Sir Walker's beams uncancelled. Her knight is here with her, helping her. This is the advantage they have over the monoists. They aren't alone. The monoist clamps his claws onto both sides of her helmet and accelerates her brain into the side of her skull at 95 gravities. Left, right, left again. The concussion blanks her. For a few seconds, she's nowhere. Her body, deprived of discipline and direction, asks for guidance from several million years of evolution and a more recent palimpsest of germline modifications. It discovers its final, ungoverned rage against extinction. The brain has failed? Let the body fight. Her hands shove the Gladiator into the monoist's armor and fires. Revision 10. Wet Rat. He has never killed before, but it is easy to think, why should this wretched wet folly of a person get to live when my sister is gone? What right do they have to exist in a cosmos without her? Without me? So Alfariel bears down on the fallen summist and rattles her brain in her skull like a bruised pomegranate. Something bites into his chest. The summist's blade splits him open. His armor sputters and rots and releases the events of its own creation. His tidal claws fail. The armor unwraps from his body. No, it's not fair! He was winning! He was going to live! As if to demonstrate unfairness, the universe doubles the odds against him. A spear of light explodes against his brow. The strike raises a jet of plasma off the failed armor, and the recoil blasts him into the corner of the bathhouse.
"Off her, you polyp," the Sunstar Knight commands. "Halia, concussion drill."
"Sir," gurgles the wet mass on the floor. "Concussed." One of the tenets of the true faith is that monoism truly, inevitably, and provably controls the future. All mass will collapse into black holes. All will join the sacred void. The enemy's bright sun will eventually reduce to zero. But it gives so little comfort when the enemy is strong now. All there is for Alfariel is Sakaar. Sakaar and the next eternity and Raphaela. Why doesn't he do it? Why doesn't he just do it?
"You called out a challenge, Alfariel of Sokundi," the Sunstar Knight barks. "I am Sir Vondum of the Sunstar Free Company. I accept your—"
Old Seema pounces. She hurtles out of the turbulence of the boiled water tank like a comet coming to end a whole geologic age. The Knight's lidar blasts a grid of light through the fog as it catches and tracks the new contact, but the grid blisters and warps around Seema, coming back false. The Knight's retaliatory snapshot goes wide. "No!" the wretch on the floor shrieks. Seema swings a Knidamine for the crown of the Knight's helm. She's going to do the move. You've seen it 1,000 times in your favourite childhood dynamation. She's going to slap the mine on him and hurtle past, and he'll say, "You missed, polyp," and she'll say, "Did I?" and he'll say, "Huh?" and then his head will explode. But old Seema, for all her age, for all her quiet mass, is just a Maracho. Just a deleter, an eraser, a killer. She doesn't fight by a code of honor. You'd think that would be an advantage. Honor. How silly. But if you're going to fight by a code of honor, you need to be absolutely platinum-grade certain that you can crush anyone who breaks the code. You need to say, "Fight the way we want, or we'll wipe you out so fast you could land an ineviter on your grave." The Knight crosses his twin Gladiators into the floor. A jet of water alloy plasma explodes like a solar flare. Purple stained green with hot titanium. The Knight twists the pulse of sunfire down a magnetic field and blasts Seema askew. His helmet is a blind, reflective dome. Alfariel knows in his gut that Vondum is grinning. Sir Vondum likes to fight. He likes to kill. He especially likes to kill his enemies so they can't go to paradise. Immortality denied. Seema's armor stretches like taffy as she hurls herself into an orbit around the knight. She punches a shock front out of the bathhouse fog. A tale of shattered porcelain tile chatters in her wake. Alfariel tries to get up, to help, but his damn armor! Take Sakaar. Let the singularity pearl in your brow go free. You will go directly into it and become part of the next eternity. You will hear the theorem unending and final sung in full, and when you arrive in the world to come, you will be welcomed to an eternity of satisfaction and challenge in this paradise that owes a small but vital part of its existence to you. Follow her into eternity. Take Sakaar. But maybe there is no next eternity. Maybe there is nothing. Maybe she's burning on the edge of Cythera forever. The lesser summist grabs his ankle. He kicks her in the face. She gags up breakfast but doesn't let go of his ankle. She's utterly pathetic, a burned rat spattered in powdered metal and molten quartz, just grey with it. But oh, him. Look how her teeth flash. Look how she snarls against death. Alfariel stares at her as he kicks her in the face over and over, rapt. How can she want so terribly to live? Is it sheer hate that drives her? The need to get at him and purge him from existence? Is it because there's no singularity pearl in her armor, waiting to swallow her up and take her to paradise? Or does she know something about life that he doesn't? Revision 10. Sakaar. The monoist is losing. Halia can tell. She has her space-bending tricks, but the monoists are too fond of lazy, free trajectories, which are, no matter how you mix them up, predictable. The monoist has entropy and momentum on her side, those slow and inevitable powers. But Sir Vondam has that which changes those things. Space is black and empty and dead. But a fusion engine is white-hot. So is a star. White is the colour of thrust. Sir Vondam is in control of this fight. All Halia has to do is hold this other monoist back from interfering. She thinks she has brain damage. But she holds onto the monoist's ankle. With his armour failing, he's merely a man stomping on her face. She just has to hold him back. Make the difference. Grow the sum. Make sure the future has Sir Vondam in it. He scrabbles like a silverfish to escape, kicking at her hand and her brow, at the Bladiator, smashing its haft against her head. A lot of effort put into prolonged suicide. He came here to die. Why won't he just give up? Take Sakaar. All she has to do is keep her gauntlet wrapped around his ankle. There is a dark roar. There is a blast of light. The sucking tidal presence of the monoist fighter snaps off, and something massive strikes the deck, flickers violet, and vanishes. Halia suffers through a blast of hot steam. Vondam has killed the main enemy. They've won. Her fingers relax. Her fingers relax. No, she grunts and grabs for the lesser monoist's foot. But he's slipped out of her grip, climbed right out of his ruined armour. He's a binary ghoul of a man, every part of him pale or black. She swings her Bladiator after him, but she's seeing double and gets the wrong one. "Yield!" Sir Vondam calls. "You are beaten!" "No, sir, don't do that. He'll be dead in 5 minutes, and he knows it. He won't yield. He won't. He'll do something fantastically cruel." "I'm going to live," the monoist cries. "Yes!" Vondam shouts through the fog. His lidar is all askew, damaged in the battle. He can't tell where the monoist is, so he's trying to burn the fog away, but his light is dim and flickering, tapped out.
You can live. We can put you in a stasis cask. We can cancel your death velocity and save your life. I'm going to live.
Sir Vondum extends a hand to him.
Come, then. Choose life.
Harlier's doubled-up vision finally focuses on the monoist. He's kneeling over his armor, grasping, digging. He rears back in triumph. Something is in his hand. "Sir!" Harlier screams. The monoist throws. The singularity bead flashes violet. The collapse takes the monoist's right hand with it, and he screams in agony. But it's done. He's done it. He has thrown away his Sakaar. The newborn microvoid hurtles across the chamber and through the wall, penetrating all that sacred gold and iron like so much rotten fruit. Along the way, it goes directly through Sir Vondum's head. Mercy. Poor Harlier. Alfariel chose to live. He threw away his plummet, his way to immortality, to kill his foe and live a minute longer. Does he deserve to die for it? He can't escape. The Free Company Knights will take him, or the Shahrazad will collapse and spatter him into human salsa. But it was a vivacious choice, wasn't it? Another minute of life, weighed against the promise of eternal death and reunion with his sister, and he chose the life. Give him a flagon of infinity and a thimbleful of life, and he'll drain the thimble to the lees. The man knows what he wants. He wants to live. So I ask you, will you, can you grant Alfariel mercy? I will take care of the rest, the changes to the past required to make this mercy possible. But will you give him a second chance to go on, to explore this universe, to learn why he thinks life is worth living? Or is he an enemy of life? Pass judgment, but know that, in my estimation, there's only one right choice. Some things can only be told in pairs. Two things made to annihilate each other. But the trick only works if they're meant to annihilate, and don't. Mercy. Let Alfariel live. Revision 11. The Captain's Grace. Alfariel stares in giddy disbelief as Sir Vondum, Solar Knight of the Free Company, topples like a drunk. He killed a Solar Knight. He killed a Solar Knight. He's got to live. He's got to get back to the monastery and tell everyone. No one will believe him. Proper credit to Seema. She did the hard work, but maybe this is why he was here, why he chose not to take Sakaar. Maybe this is his free path to destiny. Will he go home, the slayer of a Solar Knight? He lost his hand. It doesn't hurt at all. The wet rat summist wants to kill him bad, but she's got a concussion. He runs. He's got 3 minutes before the Shahrazad collapses and he splatters. Maybe he can cancel his velocity some other way. Maybe he can steal a ship, set the autopilot to thrust back towards Susa Secundi and tell it to accelerate to 30 kilometers a second. Maybe he can... He slams face first into another Solar Knight. Alfariel gapes, and then the shining form erases his vision. The microwave field cooks him into a shriek of agony. A snap of electricity sends all his muscles into agonizing spasm, tearing open his stubbed right arm. He shrieks like a choked pig as the knight hauls him close.
How long does he have, Quinn?
4 minutes, 40 seconds, sir.
I want a prisoner. Can we get anyone in here to save him?
We're still in the Shahrazad. I don't know if reinforcements will reach us.
Damn it. What about the Astelli?
Coming at the speed of light, sir. But they don't like to cross event horizons.
We have to find a way to get him into hard light and crystallize him. I want Enlight to flush out every secret he knows.
They came in at 30 kps, sir. I don't know if hard light can take that. Sir, may I go to Halia?
Give her a minute, Quinn. She needs to see that there's nothing she can do.
4 minutes, Alfariel thinks. All I ever wanted was to end my life by plummeting into a black hole. And at the last moment, I flinched. I'm a coward. For what? 4 more minutes? Do I really think Raphaela's trapped down there, on the edge of the eternity, burning? It was a bad dream. It was just a bad dream. Then why did you flinch? His vision fades back in. He screws up his face to snarl. They want to cut his head open? They can hear what's in his head. Then he smells ozone. He licks his lips, sniffs, shakes his head. He's cracklingly thirsty. No matter where he looks, there's nothing but light, ozone and warmth. What is your name? The light asks him. I have 4 minutes to live, he says. He sounds pathetic. He is pathetic. He's going to die, and he won't go to the next eternity. Not now, not for billions and billions of years. Not until the whole universe is scooped up and his long-scattered informatic remnants are finally swallowed by a supervoid. And will that really be him? Will the true faith still be there, concatenating supervoids, making sure they all go to the next eternity together? He's never going to see Raphaela again. For a moment's cowardice, he has surrendered eternal life. Hello, 4 minutes to live, the light says. My name is Slats. I'm the captain of this instrument, and the coronal of the faithful aboard. You're an Esteli, a traitorous angel, a twin species to the Caesurians who founded the true faith. I am. Maybe this is what it feels like when you get your head cut open. What are you doing to me? Why am I stuck here? You struck dead a man who was my friend. I foresaw this. I want to know why. It was war. It wasn't. The others with you fought a war. They are all dead now, consumed by their own despair. They achieved nothing. My sister's in there, he says. In Cythera. You destroy her. You destroy everything in this system just to undo an act of grace. You could be with her now, but you didn't take Sakar. Why? Because he wants to live. He wants to be in this universe, with its colours and its lights and its feelings and its mystery. Not any other. He was born under these stars. He's not done with them. I want to live, he chokes. I just want to live. But I want it to be me who lives. Don't burn me hollow. Don't shoot lasers into my head until I'm someone else. I know what you do to prisoners. Don't do it to me. Prove it. Prove what? Prove that you want to live. Haven't I? Haven't I? I was given the chance to fall. I was offered the plummet and I refused. I'm a coward. I can't go back. Even if I went now, even if I fell into the next eternity, what would they think of me? What would Raphaela say? When she had the strength to go, and he failed. Very well, the light says. I sentence you to live. He makes a weak, confused sound. He can hear the wet rat woman working at her fallen knight's armor, trying to sustain what's left of his brain.
I killed your friend.
You did. But in killing him,
You were converted.
you see that life now, in this bright span of energy at the beginning of time,
Is worth more than a long, slow death.
Sir Vanden died to show you this truth. I cannot waste that sacrifice. I sentence you to live.
For 4 minutes, he says. 4 minutes. Then I'm a smear.
Perhaps. Even now, my ship is turning towards Susur Secundi to deliver retaliation. For a few minutes, the long axis of the Dawn Sire will be pointed back the way you came. Go down the elevator shaft to the nearest flight deck. It is inside your Sharazad. You will find a Hoplite Warmaker waiting for you. Take it and go. Live.
Increase the sum.
He can't believe this. He's going to say, this is a trick, but what does it matter if it is? It's a chance.
Yes, 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 he wants to live. I can't fly your ships, he says, and I've only got one hand. What if I start bleeding out?
3 minutes to live, the light says. You are very hung up on practicalities for a man who has just been given a miracle. It takes him 2 of his remaining minutes to scramble down a spiraling emergency ramp to a flight deck. The lights are out. The hatches are dogged shut. He has to open them with one arm. And someone's following him. Boots clatter down the corkscrew ramp in pursuit. But he makes it to the hatch, labelled Deck 18, Ready Flight, Ilios Ilampel. Soft green emergency lights bathe the shapes inside. Oh, enemy shapes. But what shapes? 4 Warmakers, armed and fueled, waiting for their pilots. They are alive, growling with power, ready to fly. But they're all plugged into a mess of cables. How is he going to get all of the cables off in 1 minute? It's hopeless. There's blood coming out of his stump now. He's jarred the cauterized flesh open, and it's starting to pump. He should sit down. He should rest a little. No! He smashes his stumped arm on the bulkhead, and, howling in anguish, dripping blood, he sprints for the nearest Warmaker. He can't have more than 40 seconds left. Captain's compliments, the fighter says. A hatch opens. A ladder falls and flashes rigid. He swarms up and inside and slams into the pilot's cradle. Connectors for a flight suit probe into him and withdraw in disappointment. Supportive sacks swell to cushion his body.
Get me out of here,
Althariel pants. 30 seconds.
Go! Now, go!
The fighter expels its umbilical cables. There is a hum of rising activity all around him. And a pause. Passkey not found, the fighter says suspiciously. Verify the code of the day for emergency launch. The code of the day? The wise Luminous Esteli captain chose to spare his life, sent him all this way, and forgot to give him the code.
Stand down!
A woman screams outside.
Abort launch! Decode 4454.
No, no, no! Althariel cries. Launch! Emergency launch! Day code 4454. You just copied her code, the fighter says. Of course I did. It's the day code. I don't have my own damn day code. The captain didn't give me one. Consulting standing orders, the fighter says. No clear resolution. Captain's judgment prevails. Stand by. Human hands scrabble at the hatch. 15 seconds until he hits the side of the cockpit and becomes a physics problem. The Warmaker slides forward on its cradle, through a grid of laser light, through fields that separate ionized air from hard vacuum. The fighter drops stern first into freefall, plunging down the empty shaft of the Dawnsire's stern to prow flight rail. 10 seconds. The fighter has to have a grid of hard light to protect the pilot from acceleration. He needs to reach 30 kilometers a second in 10 seconds. And that means 3 kilometers per second of acceleration. Can hard light take that? Am I going to die? He asks the fighter. Yes, the VIY says. Can I avoid it? Unknown, the VIY says. Permanent immortality of the human body is beyond the reach of science. Questions regarding immortality of the spirit should be directed to your coronal. Stand by for vitrification. A hard light field seizes every atom in Alfariel's body and converts him, very briefly, into a uniform crystal. Not quite living diamond, but hard enough. He doesn't even get to feel it when the launch tube fires, when the Warmaker's plasma magnet catches the shot and hurls him away at a stately 2,500 gravities. Revision 11. Unstruth. A whole life has just turned off. Her life as Sir Vondom's pupil. Her ascent to knighthood under his tutelage. Decades of future just darkened. Curtains. Exit that Harlier. Enters this Harlier. The Harlier who wasn't quick, or strong, or sure enough to save her knight. The Harlier who allowed a pathetic, fallen foe to throw his suicide through Vondom's skull. If the sum grows because I die today, my death was worthy. Would it grow the sum to find that monoist and burn his face to the skull? He killed Sir Vondom because she was weak, and she has to make it right. There has to be some way. There has to be some way to make it right. Make it less wrong. She closes her teeth and holds her jaw rigid and howls. It comes out like a wheeze. She takes 3 steps toward the launch tube as if to hurl herself inside and then spins and screams aloud. Damn it! Damn it!
Halia?
Gwynedad says nervously. The other squire stands by the hatch to the emergency ramp. She looks small and tired. What? Halia says, at a loss for how to behave like a human.
You'd better come. You'd better see. See what? Come where?
She's being cruel.
Yes. I am sorry. If I have to be around people, I'll have to be.
She'll have to listen to them say, there was nothing you could do. Even though there was. She just failed to do it. She'll have to start being the squire who lost her knight.
I don't think I should tell you,
Gwynedad says.
I think you should just come see.
Went right through, I suppose, Vondom declares. Look at that. By the sum, it's gone right through me.
He shows Harlier the hole in his helmet, then the hole in his face, just to the left of his nose. Then he turns carefully and shows her the matching black hole in the back of his skull. It's scorched and perfectly round, no bigger than a pinhead. She stares in wonder. She tries to say, "You're alive!" She throws up on the deck.
Understandable,
Vondom says sympathetically. He turns his helmet over to confirm that. Yes, there's a matching hole drilled through the back.
I saw the brightest flash I think I have ever seen. Brighter than eyes alone could see. Then I blacked out and woke up to Captain Slats here, looking disappointed.
The captain's form turns the bathhouse fog into a golden glory. That's always the way with prophecy, isn't it? We see the moment, but not the context. You died, but you were not dead. Halia bent over to clean up her own vomit and begins laughing. She can't stop.
"Oh, Sam," she cries. "Oh, sir, I thought... Oh, what did I think? I thought... Oh, balls and Sam!"
A ray of a stellar luminescence passes over her. "Squire," the captain says, "your brain is badly bruised."
"My brain is bruised?"
Halia's laugh sucks in powdered metal and vaporized porcelain. She begins hacking, but she can't stop laughing either.
"My brain is bruised?"
Her knight is alive. A tiny black hole has gone through his skull, and he's alive.
You should be on the bridge, Slats, Sir Vondam says. The ship needs you.
I only left the bridge seconds ago, outside the Shahrazad. A few seconds more, and they will receive word that we have defeated this incursion, and the Shahrazad has collapsed. I sent Sir Walker to secure the nearby inhibitor and dispose of any bombs aboard. The other 2 battles are still in progress, but we expect a favorable resolution. One of them has a bomb, but Anastelli has gone in to disable it. Vondam squints at Slats through the hole in his helmet.
You came all this way just to check on my death.
I came all this way to see your killer. I foresaw him also.
Yes.
Vondam gathers his weapons.
Hard to figure out how that was so probable that you foresaw it as a certainty. I'd ask the man if he meant to do it, if he wasn't slime on a bulkhead.
"No,"
Halia wheezes.
"He got away. I saw him take a hoplite and go. Maybe he could have survived the jolt when his vector caught up to him."
Vondam looks up sharply.
What? Take a hoplite? How?
"Captain Slats let him."
Vondam wheels back in shock.
You let a monoist suicide commando board this vessel, test our defenses, and fly away.
He's not a monoist anymore. Or suicidal. He is finding out how to live.
Captain, from a human perspective, that's shockingly naive.
From an Estelli perspective, Sir Vondam, that is why you need the sum. They should report to a medic. Halia's knight has severe brain trauma, and so does she.
Come on,
Vondam insists.
Come on, Halia. It's your first victory. We've got to show your face. Come on.
They stagger out onto the floor of the Synodic Sober, and a cheer goes up like birdsong from all around. Technics in their nooks ululate and howl. Vondam, swollen at his nose and at the nape of his skull, throws up his arms and cheers back. Halia can't stop laughing, though her lungs are going to rags. They won. They faced death and won. They passed through prophecy, predetermined death, and lawyered their way to a happy ending. Captain Slats flashes through the walls of iconostasis back to the command pulpit. Its voice peals like thunder. We were struck by 3 inhibitors. All 3 incursions were defeated. By my authority as coronal of this ship, I have ordered retaliation against Susur Secundi. We came to this star to save it from its prison. But along the way to liberation, we may spare a few terawatts to rebuke our foes. The cheers redouble.
It's gone wrong,
Sir Vondam murmurs in Halia's ear.
Sir?
Captain Slats, it's gone wrong.
He looks at the hole in his helmet.
You were right. The prophecy was a trick. That monoist putting a hole in my head wasn't inevitable. Unless something made it inevitable.
Sir?
A hole in the brain must do damage, even if it let you live. Her knight may be inflamed, encephalitic, and on the way to a sort of temporary, wounded madness.
Untruth, Vondam says grimly. You were right. It's real. More real than I am now.
She stares at him.
I don't understand.
The event of that black hole passing through my head was made inevitable. It was an engineered outcome, a blasphemy against reality. An untruth. I don't know how it was done, but I have a damn good theory, Halia. And if I'm right, then I must be under the same influence. I am also an untruth. Living blasphemy.
Sir, it's just a wound.
Think of the improbabilities, Halia. That monoist throws away his shot at paradise just to try to kill me. And it works, and the captain foresees it as inevitable. The dice were loaded, and because Slats foresaw that inevitability, it was present to show the monoist mercy and allow him off the ship. No, Halia, it's too much to credit.
What are you saying?
She whispers.
I'm saying that something wants that monoist alive. Something he made contact with in the past, or something he will come into contact with in the future.
But that doesn't mean that you...
The Astelli are vulnerable, Halia. Their bodies are lattices of quantum probability, not as wet and noisy as us. And me, I wasn't vulnerable, not until my life depended on the exact trajectory of a quantum void through my skull. Now? Who knows?
Impulsively, she touches his brow. He is burning hot, but then again he is a solar knight. She gives him the unabashed scrutiny of the medic, checking his pupils left and right.
We should report to the medic, sir.
Yes, we should. A concussion is a serious injury, Squire. But once we're fit again, we're going after him.
Him. The one who would, except for the slimmest fortune, have killed her knight.
I would like that very much, sir, she says. But it may be a long time before you're well to travel.
I'll go as I am, if the sum requires it.
He touches the hole in his head, frowns at his hand, as if expecting to find a hole in it too.
I'm sorry that I lived.
Sir?
Oh, no, I'm not sorry that I'm alive, Halia. Never that. I'm glad to be alive. But I've just denied you the defining moment of your life. I just prevented the existence of a Halia who suffered my loss and made herself worth it. I would have been very sad not to meet her if I died. And now I am sad not to meet her, though I lived.
Sir, she says with passion, I would much rather be worth your life than your death. Life is greater.
The Dawn-Sire looks like a javelin. It moves like a javelin. It hurls disaster at the monuments of the enemy like the goddess hurls javelins in myth. The mechanism that undoes a supervoid into a star is in fact called a horizon javelin. It is at the Dawn-Sire's heart. The Dawn-Sire's work requires tremendous energy, more than it can carry in its slender hull. So, as lungs fuel a heart, it also has machines to fuel a horizon javelin. At the prow of the Dawn-Sire are a pair of Ignacio free electron lasers. The crews who work on them call them Nacho and Nacha. They are energized by wigglers capable of rendering a man down to mist, and each laser can focus the beam tight enough to split buttons on a shirt at 1,000,000 kilometers. The purpose of Nacho and Nacha is to steal power from dark gods. Fire a laser on the right path around a supervoid, and the laser will slingshot around, returning to its starting point with greater energy than it had when it left. This power can be used to fire the laser again, and the spare harvested to charge up the horizon javelin. Isn't that ingenious? Achieve unlimited energy by trick-shooting yourself in the arse. Of course, Nacha and Nacho can also be used as orthodox lasers, meaning weapons. Listen closely. You will hear the technics in their exedra speaking a special prayer. Shot 18, Navarra. Program. Target range 60 million kilometers. Apparent motion 2 microradians per second. Drawing lead for 200 seconds. Switch yard, release to VIY. Devolving beamform authority. Scaling subvisor workers. Programmed hold. Polling response management for blockers. Shot captain clears hold. Power to program. Stand by. The Dawnsire is not aimed at Susa Secundi. It is aimed at the place Susa Secundi will be in 200 seconds. Nacha fires. The pulse train of laser energy strikes across 200 light seconds to the monoist monastery world. The disciples of him who falls have prepared. Space is blistered and mazed. Thuribles spread fields of energy-soaking incense. Nacha's train splinters and blooms over the face of Susa Secundi. The fractured world below shines with warlight. Fields of incense blaze up as plasma. The beam jitters slightly. Tiny sounds and trembles in the Dawnsire's hull are amplified into errors in the whole beam's path. Nacho doesn't fire. Not yet. Nacho is watching. After all, any laser capable of focusing at 60 million kilometers is also a superb telescope. Nacho maps the path of Nacha's pulse train, finds its own aim point, and fires. Shot 19, Orison. Program. Target range 60 million kilometers. Target in active litigation. A vicious race begins. Each lap is 400 seconds long enough for light to go there and back again. Nacho and Nacha try to map the monoist defenses and find a clear path through, while the monoists hurry to adjust their own maze. Nacho and Nacha stab out again, salvoing their disapproval of the warped orbit of Susa Secundi. Until, so much sooner than the monoist tactical models predicted, Nacho hits. The monastery in construction above Susa Secundi jets violet plasma and lurches in its orbit. Exploded stone gushes like an artery into the maze world's sky, fading, slowly, to a red bruise. As the light of the exchange spreads, every living thing with eyes in Sothera can see, scratched across the sky, the blood of the war in heaven. And if any of those eyes take note of the Hopelight Warmaker burning furiously away from the Dawnsire, headed anywhere but home, they do not say. Not yet. A special thanks to all of my patrons, especially Owen Griffin. Thanks for watching and for your continued support.